The Pima County Adult Probation Learn Lab is a GED study program open to all legal residents 18 and over. We offer classes and individualized instruction for all subjects of the GED test, as well as career and college advice. For more information, click the link below. Probably can't quite see out the window here, but it's actually snowing here in southern Arizona. It's weird. But it's an opportunity, because what's better to do on a cold, snowy day, usually it's a rainy day, but we actually have snow this time, is to get yourself the hot beverage of your choice, get under a blanket, and hang out with a book. In this case, we've got a new book for you here. We just got it here in the Learn Lab last week. It'll be ready and waiting for you to check out when classes start back up again. Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. If you can't wait, you want to get a hold of this book as soon as possible, I have checked. Pima Community Library has copies. There's a bit of a wait list, but you can get a copy. If you don't have a library card, they're free, they're easy to get. You should get one. But you can check out a copy from the Pima County Library. They actually have digital copies, so you don't even have to go. If you've got a digital device, smartphone, tablet, you can download it and read it that way. They do have some hard copies as well. You want to get your own copy, there's all sorts of places. Amazon, Target, Antigone Bookstore, if you want to support a local bookstore. It's real easy to find a copy of this. You should go for it. So, it's been a while since we've done a book exploration, and I actually haven't done a video of one, so this is a new process for us. So, as I've said in classes before, reading is an active process. It's something that you have to engage your brain with before you even get started. And I always sort of like to link this to going to a movie. And I'm sure you're sitting there going, how does going to a movie have anything to do with reading a book? It's a similar skill, all right? What you're doing here is you're taking a skill set you already have and you're learning to apply it to something else, which in itself is a very important skill to have. But if you think about it, when you go to the movie theater, you don't just show up, throw 12, 15 bucks or however much it is at the counter, they hand you a random ticket, you go and get a bag of popcorn and you just sit down wherever and start watching what shows up. All right? You make a choice on what movie you want to go see. And there's a lot of factors that go into that choice. Your friends want to go see it, so there's a recommendation from a friend. There's commercials on TV, radio, internet, wherever. So you've got things that are giving you information about this before you even start. And if you think about it, even those commercials for movies, right? They don't just say, watch this movie. It's, here's a little bit about this movie. Here's some scenes from this movie. It's a trailer. Okay? Once you're in the theater, if you think about it, look at the walls, right? Whenever you're in a movie theater out there in the lobby, the walls are covered with movie posters. And some of them even have those cool 3D cardboard things that, people are tripping over because they're halfway out into the hallway. Those aren't accidental, all right? Those are designed. If you're an artistic type, you want a career in movies, look into designing movie theaters and movie displays, okay? People get paid to do that stuff. And it's very deliberate on how they do it. Colors, the words, the people they put on it, right? If it's a action movie with a big star in it, there's usually that, you think about movies that have The Rock in it, right? He's always like front and center, all muscly and handsomey looking. They do that on purpose because they know that people are going to want to see a movie with The Rock in it. They may not know what the movie is, but hey, it's got The Rock in it. I know what I'm going to get. I know what type of movie I'm going to get. They may say, well, this is a Michael Bay movie. Okay, cool. I know I'm going to go and watch stuff get blown up. It might be the exact same explosion I saw in his last 3 movies, but that's what you're going to get. You know that going in. So you've sort of activated prior knowledge before you choose what movie to see. You've activated prior knowledge before you sit down in the seat. You know what's coming. Okay? You can take that skill set and apply it to your book reading as well. All right? In this case, looking at Concrete Rose, again, notice here on the cover, the author is right, kind of up there. It's like the first thing you see, other than the title of the book. Again, this is not by mistake. Okay, Angie Thomas is a well-known author for good reason. She writes pretty good books. So if you've read some of her books, or if you've seen The Hate You Give, which is based off one of her earlier books, you kind of have an idea of what you're going to get before you even open the book. Again, you're activating prior knowledge. You look at the title, okay, Concrete Rose. Think about the title, okay? What does that mean to you? Take a moment to sort of think of Concrete Rose. If we think about that, you think those two words, concrete and rose. All right, concrete definitely gives us image of inner city, possibly not the prettiest thing, right? Concrete's usually just this kind of gray, ugly, hard surface. Roses, we generally have all sorts of different meanings to it, right? You think about roses, you might think about love, you might think about beauty, and so even just putting those two things together to form a title is a little bit of a, well, that's interesting. So you can start thinking about the name of that title and what that might possibly mean. That gives you some thought into what the book might be about. Okay? If you look again at that cover, we see this young black man on the cover. He's got his gold chain, he's got his his do-rag. That might give you some ideas about possibly what's going to be going on with this story. You can kind of see the roses sort of there in the background. Again, that sort of gives you a bit of an interesting idea, possibly about what this book is meaning, what it's about. Gives you some thought process before you even get started. Okay. Sometimes you can look at the back of a book to see if there's anything interesting about the back of a book. In this case, it's got quotes about previous writings from Angie Thomas. Praise for Angie Thomas. And so it doesn't give us a whole heck of a lot. If we open the book and we look inside the first cover here, hey, we've got some writing here. Again, just like we watched that trailer for a movie, we can look at this piece of writing to give us an idea about what this book is. If there's one thing 17-year-old Maverick Carter knows, it's that a real man takes care of his family. As the son of a former gang legend, Mav does that the only way he knows how, dealing for the King Lords. With this money he can help his mom, who works 2 jobs while his dad's in prison. Life's not perfect, but with a flag girlfriend and a cousin who always has his back, Mav's got everything under control. Until, that is, Maverick finds out he's a father. Okay? So right away, all right, we've got an idea of a person that has a code of how they want things to happen. And he's got his life figured out, but something's changed it. Okay? Thus starts the story. Suddenly he has a baby, 7, who depends on him for everything. But it's not so easy to sling dope, finish school, and raise a child. So when he's offered the chance to go straight, he takes it. In a world where he's expected to amount to nothing, maybe Mav can prove he's different. When King Lord blood runs through your veins, though, you can't just walk away. Loyalty, revenge, and responsibility threaten to tear Mav apart, especially after the brutal murder of a loved one. He'll have to figure out for himself what it really means to be a man. There's a description of the story. So you're activating again. You start to think about what is this book about. You're getting an idea before you even start reading it. Okay, you're activating your own prior knowledge. And you may have some extra prior knowledge, because if you've read The Hate You Give, This is a prequel to The Hate You Give. All right? If you remember in The Hate You Give, which is a story about a young woman who is there when her friend is shot by a cop. Hey, her dad's name is Maverick Carter. Hey, this is a story about her father before she was born. So, all right, if we've read The Hate You Give, we already know the neighborhood. We already kind of know the main character. So now, maybe we want, maybe in the Hate You Give, we were kind of curious about her dad's story. Because if you remember in The Hate You Give, there was always this kind of hinting thing about his background that didn't really get explored. So now we can explore what that was being hinted at in The Hate You Give. Hey, cool, now here's a reason to start reading this book, because I was kind of curious about the stuff that was hinted at in the other book. Okay? So you see how you generate your personal reason for reading. Because frankly, if you have no reason to read something, you're just looking at the words. You've got to figure out why you want to read this. What's it doing for you, so that you have a reason to start comprehending it. All right? Reading is two pieces. First part is what we call decoding. That's looking at the letters and figuring out what word the letters make. That's the first step. That's the most basic step. The next step is comprehending. All right? We've got these letters that are made into words. We put these words together. That creates a sentence. Now, what does the sentence mean? That's where comprehension starts to come in. And this is where I've heard from students, well, I have to read something 3 or 4 times before I get it. Okay? You're working on comprehension. And one of the things that you can do to help your comprehension is figure out, why am I reading this? What can I do to connect to these words on the page? The process I just went through here with this book is the starting process to that. Okay? What's some background? What's this story about? Why do I care about this story? Okay, a little bit of a teacher secret here also. If you don't care about a story, there's no point in reading it. All right? I'm going to go against the teacher code and say there is no reason other than, if you have to for a grade, or if you have to read it for something for work, there's no reason to keep reading something you don't care about. Why torture yourself? Flip side of that, see if you can come up with a reason for why you care about this. Okay? Maybe you've got a background in you grew up in the inner cities. Hey, this story might connect to what I'm used to or what I know. The more you can connect to something, the more you're going to comprehend it. And that's the goal. It's comprehending. Okay? We can read all we want. If we can't comprehend it, that's where the wheels fall off the proverbial bus. So come up with a reason for why you want to read it, how you can connect to it. All right? For me, reading this book, and I have actually read the whole thing, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but it's a great book. It was finding out that background that was mysteriously hinted at in The Hate You Give. That was one reason I wanted to sort of read this. I was like, oh, okay, well, what happened here? I had some curiosity from a previous book. I also liked the previous books that Angie Thomas had written. So again, it's just like that movie choice. Hey, I've read a couple of books by this author. I've really liked those books. I'm going to try another one. There's again my connection. So having said all that, take a dive in here and read the first chapter of Concrete Rose. As always, whenever I when I start looking at books, you go through and start looking. You get the title page. You got it also available. Got some publishing information about when it was published, copyright 2021. So hey, brand new book. There's a dedication here. For all the roses growing in concrete, keep blossoming. Okay. Part 1, Germination. Interesting start, because if you think about it, germination is what happens when you first plant a seed. So, kind of looking at the theme of concrete rows, part 1 is germination of, we haven't formed the nice thing that everybody wants to look at yet. It's good. We're still very much in the rough. We've just been planted. Okay? 1. When it comes to the streets, there's rules. They ain't written down, and you won't find them in a book. It's natural stuff you know the moment your mama let you out the house. Kind of like how you know to breathe without somebody telling you. If there was a book, though, there would be a whole section on street ball. And the most important rule would be at the top, in big, bold letters. Don't get your ass beat in front of a fine girl, especially if she's your girl. I can totally see that. But that's exactly what I'm doing. Getting my ass beat in front of Lisa. It's okay, Maverick, she calls out from a picnic table. You got this. Straight up, I ain't got nothing. Me and King got 0 points to Dre and Sean's 11. Yeah, I guess he has getting his ass beat. 1 more point and they win. Big as King is, you'd think he'd block Sean's lanky ass or something. Sean getting by him like he don't exist. Posting him up, shooting jumpers in his face, all that. Got the homies going wild on the sidelines, and got King looking like a fool. I can't be mad at King. Not with what's going down today. My head not in the game either. So that's a little bit of a foreshadowing right there. Why is his head not in the game? What's going on that he's not really paying attention to this game and violating that rule about getting his ass beat in front of a fine girl? Active reading. So that's where I'm starting to think and wonder, got that question going. It's one of them perfect August days where the sun real bright, yet it's not too hot to play ball. Rose Park full of King Lords in gray and black. Seemed like all the homies came to get a game in. Not that King Lords need an excuse to come to Rose. This our territory. We handle business here. Chill out here. Get our butts kicked on the court here. I checked the ball to Dre. He grinned extra wide. Come on, Mav. You going out like this in front of your girl? Lisa should have played instead of you. Oh's echo from the sidelines. Dre never go easy on me because I'm his younger cousin. He'd been dunking on me since I was big enough to hold a ball. Worry about this whooping you're going to take in front of your girls, I say. Kaisha and Adriana don't want to claim you after this one. There go more O's. Dre's fiance, Kaisha, is over at the picnic table with Lisa, laughing. Kaisha and Dre's daughter, Adriana, is in her lap. Look at little homie trash talking, Sean says, grinning with his gold grill. We should call him Martin Luther King, 'cause he got a dream if he think he winning, Dre says. I have a dream, Sean tried to sound like MLK, that one day you may step on this court and get a goddamn point. The homies laugh. Truth is, Sean's joke could have been whack and they'd laugh. That's how it is when you're crowned of the King Lords, the Caesar of Rome. People do what they're supposed to do in order to stay on your good side. One of them yell out, "Don't let them punk you, little Don, little Zeke." It don't matter that my pop's been locked up for 9 years, or that King's pop's been dead almost as long. They still Big Don, the former crown, and Big Zeke, his right-hand man. That make me Lil Don and King Lil Zeke. Guess we're not old enough to go by our own names yet. Seems like another sort of unwritten code of the street there, doesn't it? Dre bounced the ball. What you got, cuz? He start right. I follow and run straight into Sean's chest. They run in a pick and roll. Dre get away from me, and King go after him, leaving Sean open. Sean gun for the hoop. Dre toss the ball up, and God damn! Sean dunk on King. What? Sean yell as he hang from the rim. He jumped down, and him and Dre do that handshake they've done since they were kids. They can't mess with us, Sean says. Hell nah, Dre says. I won't ever hear the end of this one. 30 years from now, Dre gonna be like, remember that time me and Sean didn't let y'all score? King slammed the ball against the concrete. Shit! He take losing to heart for real. Aye, chill, I say. We'll get him next. Y'all got beat down. One of the homies, Peanut, laughs. He this short dude with a thick beard, and he known to have a big mouth. There's scars on his face and neck 'cause of it. He sounds like a winning individual. We should have stopped calling you Little Don a long time ago. You an embarrassment to the OG balling like that. The homies on the sidelines laugh. I clench my jaw. I ought to be used to them kind of jabs. Let a lot of fools in the set tell it. I ain't as hard as my pops. Ain't as street as my pops. Ain't as good at anything as him. I got no clue what I'm doing on the low. I'm more like my pops than you think, I tell Peanut. There's another hint of, something happening there that we may not know. Could have fooled me. Next time Big Boy there ought to put as much effort into the game as he do into eating. King stepped toward Peanut. Or I could whoop your ass instead. Peanut stepped toward him too. What it is then, fool? The situation's getting kind of tense here. Whoa, 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 I say, pulling King back. He real quick to fight. Chill. Yeah, calm down, says Sean. It's only ball. You right. My bad, Sean, Peanut says with his hands up. I can be a bit temperish. Temper what? I swear, Peanut be making up words to sound smart. The way King nostrils flare, I got a feeling this about more than ball for him. He shake me off and march across the park. Sean, Dre, and everybody, look at me. He got a lot going on, that's all, I mumble. Yeah, Dre add in. He'd lower his voice to Sean. You remember that situation with him, Mav, an old girl that told you about? They find out today. Wonder what that's all about. No excuses, Dre. He always popping off, Sean says. He either get that temper in check or he get checked. In other words, a beat down. That's how the big homies keep us little homies in line. See, there's levels to King Lords. You got youngins, badass middle schoolers who swear they got next. They do whatever the rest of us tell them to do. Then you got little homies like me, King, and our boys Rico and Junie. We handle initiations, recruitment, and sell weed. Next is the big homies, like Dre and Sean. They sell the harder stuff, make sure the rest of us have what we need, make alliances, and discipline anyone who step out of line. When we have beef with the Garden Disciples, the gang on the east side, they usually take care of it. Then there's the OGs, original gangstas. Grown dudes who've been in this a long time. They advise Sean. Problem is, there ain't a lot of OGs left on the streets. Most of them locked up, like my pops, or dead. A beatdown by the big homies is no joke. I can't let King go out like that. So we're starting to see some background on these people here, on these characters, their life that they're living. We're also seeing a little bit of character about Mav and how he's looking out for his friend. Okay, you know, that's a pretty big deal. He's trying to help his friend navigate things. Tells you a lot about his character. I'll talk to him, I tell Sean. Somebody better, he says, and turns to the others. Now who want to get whooped on this court next? King nearly out the park. I run to catch up with him. Dog, you can't be going off on folks. You trying to cause us some problems? I ain't gonna let nobody diss me, Mav, King growls. I don't give a damn if he a big homie. I glance back at the courts. We are far enough that Sean and them won't hear me. We gotta keep our cool, remember? For the past 6 months, me and King been slinging behind the big homies' backs. Like I said, little homies can only sell weed, but there ain't nearly as much money in that as there is in the other stuff. On top of that, we got to give most of our dough to Sean and them because they supply the product. One day King decided to do his own thing on the side and get his own supplier. Brought me in real quick. Our pockets stay fat. Alright, that sounds like a bit of a dangerous idea to be doing there. Again, we're learning more about these characters. King kind of he's gonna be pushing boundaries here. We're gonna be in deep shit if Sean and them ever find out. This almost as bad as taking their turf. But my mama worked 2 jobs. She shouldn't have to get me kicks and clothes when she's struggling to keep a roof over our heads. Real talk. Let Peanut or anybody else say whatever the hell they want, I tell King. We doing our thing, and that's all we need to focus on, aight? I hold my hand out to King. At first he stares at it, and I don't know if that's because of Sean and Peanut or that other situation we got going on. Okay, again, what's this other situation? He finally slapped my palm. Yeah, I pull him into me and hit his back with my fist. Don't worry about that other thing. It's going to work out like it's supposed to. I ain't tripping either way. It is what it is. That's the same thing he said about his parents getting murdered when he was 11 and about everything we went through with the foster families. I guess if you want to leave it at that, so can I. He head out the park and I head over to Lisa. She looking finer than a mug. Got on a shirt that show her belly button and some shorts that got my mind wandering. I stand between her legs. We garbage, huh? Lisa wrap her arms around my neck. Y'all could use work. Like I said, we garbage. She laughs. Maybe, but you're my garbage. She kissed me, and that made me forget everything else. It's always been this way with Lisa. I spotted her at a basketball game freshman year. Her team was whooping the Garden High girls' asses. Honestly, she do play better than me. I was there to watch Junie play afterward when Lisa caught my eye. She could ball, and she was fine as hell. Plus, she had an ass. Can't lie, I noticed that thing from jump. She did a layup, and I hollered, "Hell yeah, shorty!" She looked my way with them pretty brown eyes and smiled. That was it. I had to talk to her. Once she gave me a shot, it's been on ever since. I messed up big time. Knowing what I know make me stop kissing her. What's wrong, she asked. I'm asking that exact same question. I play with her braids. Nothing. Mad that I lost in front of you. Daddy beat you, Andriana says. Nothing like a 3-year-old calling you out. Andriana looked like Dre, which means she looked like me. Everybody say me and Dre practically twins. Our mamas are sisters and our dads are cousins, so it makes sense that we got the same wide eyes, thick eyebrows, and dark brown complexions. You should have cheered for me. I tickle Andriana. She squirm and giggle in Kaisha's lap. You shouldn't have cheered for your daddy. Heck yeah, she should have cheered for her daddy, Dre says as he come over. He scoop Andriana up and fly her around like an airplane. Can't nobody make her laugh the way he do. Y'all going to the party tonight? Lisa asked. Sean throwing a house party like he always do at the end of summer. You already know Dre not going to no party, Kaisha says. Heck nah. We're going to have all the fun. Ain't that right, baby girl? He kisses Andriana's cheek. Dag, man. It's Friday night, I say. You can't stay at home. Never mind. This Dre. He don't go nowhere anymore. Having Andriana changed him big time. He stopped partying and hanging out. I think he'd stop being a king lord if he could. Ain't no getting out of king lords unless you want to end up dead or damn near dead. I'm where I want to be, he says, smiling at Adriana. You look at me. You sure you going to the party? Dre knows what's going down today, the thing that might change my life. Problem is, Lisa don't know. You bet not say nothing either. I'm sure, I say. Dre stared me down the way a big brother do a little brother who up to no good. It get on my nerves and make me feel like shit all at once. I look at Lisa instead. Nothing stopping us from going to the party. Got to get one in before school starts soon. Lisa draped her arms around my neck. That's right. Just think. A year from now we'll be at college and going to all the parties. For sure. Party's the main reason I'd go to college. If I go. I ain't sure yet. At tonight's party, everybody gonna notice when you walk in rocking this. I take the necklace out of my pocket. The pendant spell out Maverick in cursive. It's made out of real gold with little diamonds along it. I got a dude in the mall to make it the other week. Oh my God, Lisa gasps as she takes it. It's beautiful. Okay, Mav, Keisha says. I see you spending dough on your girl. Hell yeah, you know I do. The necklaces cost big money, Dre says. Where you get dough for that? Dre don't know I sell more than weed with King, and I want to keep it that way. It took a lot to convince him to let me sell weed in the first place, even though Dre sling himself. He was on some do as I say, not as I do crap for the longest. Told him I wanted to help Ma out, and eventually he gave in. He only let me sell enough weed to pay a bill or two. If he find out what I got with King, he'll have my ass. Alright, we're learning more about Maverick, or Mav, and his relationship with his cousin. Sounds a little, almost kind of got that absent father thing going on there, where he's trying to look out for Maverick and try to save him from doing things he might regret later. I did odd jobs around the hood like I always do, I lie. Saved up enough to get it. Well, I love it, Lisa says. She know what I do. She a real one for changing the subject. Thank you. Anything for you, baby girl. I kiss her again. Ew. Don't be doing that in front of my baby. Dre cover around his eyes, making Keisha crack up. Gonna scar her for life. If she ain't scarred from looking at your face, shite, I say as a horn blare in the parking lot from a rusty Datsun. One of the windows rolled down and this muscular, light-skinned dude call out, Lisa, let's go. She rolled her eyes with a groan. Seriously? That's her older brother, Carlos. He never liked me. First time I called Lisa, he interrogated me like he was the police. How old are you? What school do you go to? What kind of grades do you get? Are you in a gang? All kinds of stuff that wasn't his business. When he met me, I was wearing gray and black, which proved I'm kinging. Fool turned his nose up at me like I was a bug under his shoe. He home from college this summer, and I can't wait for his ass to go back to school. What he doing here, I ask. Mama asked him to take me to school shopping, Lisa says. I have to get more of those ugly St. Mary's uniforms. Aye, you be looking fine as hell in them plaid skirts. Lisa fight a smile, and that make me smile. Whatever, those skirts are still ugly. She hop off the table. I better go before Captain Nosey causes a scene. I laugh and take her hand. Come on, I'll walk you over. She say bye to Keisha and Dre and cross the park with me. Carlos give me an evil eye the whole way over. Hate her. Me and Lisa stop beside the car. I'll come scoop you up at 8, I say. See you at 8:15 then, she smirks. You're never on time. We're going to stop there. But a few questions for you to think about. Remember, reading is all about being active and engaged with what you're reading. So some things to think about. What is the thing that might change his life? It's kind of, he's mentioned it a couple of times. Is that thing that's going to happen this afternoon. What could that possibly be? There's a question you can kind of think about. What is the situation that Mav and King have going on that could cause tension between the two of them? Right? Remember there, he's like, I don't know if it was the losing of the game or that thing that we got going on between us. So there's, even though they're kind of partners in the whole deal that they're doing, there seems to be something in the background that might cause tension between the two of them. What could that possibly be? Well, the big homies find out about Mav and King's dealing on the side. That could have some huge repercussions, right? Because if they're doing something, you know, out of order within the gang, I don't think the big homies would think too highly of that. Possibly be some repercussions there. What is Mav hiding from Lisa, right? He's, you know, oh, I don't want to tell her about that. Okay, so there's lots of little secrets going on here. Lots of things bubbling in the background that could cause some issues. And that kind of comes up with the big question is, are any of these things connected? You know, is the secret he's hiding from Lisa the thing that's causing the tension between him and King? And is that, you know, what do you think? You know, there's no good answers at this point in the story to these questions. You might have some ideas based on what we've read so far. But that's the questions you ask yourself to keep yourself engaged, and that hopefully you're going to find answers as you keep reading. So, like I said, you want to keep reading this. Check out the local library, Pima County. Check out your local bookstore, Amazon, any of those other big places where you can buy books. You should be able to pick up a copy as well. Open it up, finish reading, and then let me know what you think. Okay, if you've got any predictions you want to email my way, I won't tell you if you're right or wrong because you got to read the book. Sorry, not sorry, that's how I roll. So, till next time, enjoy the snowy weather with a good book. Bye.